She didn't say goodbye, just vanished. But when I walked into our loft that night, something pulled tight in my chest, like a wire ready to snap. The lights were off, but one lamp flickered, casting a strobe across the living room. That's when I saw the first note. Bright red, stuck to the refrigerator, right where her lipstick used to stain coffee mugs. It read, "Follow the voice, not the silence." I stood there, heart stammering. My fingers trembled as I peeled it off, already certain this wasn't random. It wasn't a farewell. It was the beginning of something deliberate. I turned in circles, searching for more. The shadows felt too still, like they were waiting. Like she'd planned every second of this. Her voice crackled to life through the recorder, soft but clipped. Like she was being watched. "If you're hearing this, you know I'm not coming back, but I'm not hiding, not from you." Her tone was sharp, measured, each syllable surgical. I played it again and again, listening for the tremble, the hint of regret. But it wasn't there. Only a challenge. The wineglass beside it was still wet. She'd been here recently. My mind raced. Who was she leaving these for? Me? Or someone else? Every second, the line between victim and architect blurred. I was chasing her, but somehow it felt like she was leading me into a trap of her own making. In the bedroom, where her scent still lingered on the pillows, I found the next clue, hidden in the vent we used to joke about sealing shut. Inside was an envelope, sealed with red wax. No name, just one word, scrawled in her angular handwriting. Trust. My pulse spiked. Trust? After she disappeared without a trace, after turning our home into a breadcrumb maze, I tore it open. Inside, a photograph of us, but I had been crossed out in thick black ink. My hands felt ice cold. Whatever game she was playing, it wasn't for nostalgia. It was war. And I was already losing. The bathroom mirror held the next clue. A jagged smear of red lipstick. Not words, but a symbol. Something abstract, like an hourglass or a bleeding eye. The steam hadn't even cleared yet. She'd been here minutes ago. My thoughts blurred with panic and obsession. I wiped the mirror, hoping for clarity, but all I saw was my own reflection, eyes sunken, lips parted, trying to breathe through something I didn't understand. She knew I'd look here. She knew I'd be too proud to call for help. This wasn't a trail of goodbye. It was a test. And I didn't know the rules. Downstairs in the hallway of our building, I found her heel, the red one she wore the night we fought. It lay on its side, the patent leather scuffed. At the far end, the metal door that led to the basement was open, just a crack. My breath hitched. She knew I'd come here. I could almost hear her voice, playful and cruel. Curiosity is your leash. I approached slowly, every footstep ringing like a warning. I half expected a scream, a trap, a final note. But there was nothing. Just the hum of pipes and a cold gust rising from below. She was drawing me deeper, into the dark, and I couldn't stop myself from following. The basement was a storage graveyard. Dust, mildew, forgotten furniture. I found the cassette under a cracked lamp, the label smeared but legible. Play me alone. My hands shook as I slid it into the old player nearby. Her voice came through again, lower this time, almost intimate. You never saw me, not really, but you looked where I told you to. That's something. I closed my eyes, letting the words coil around me like smoke. There was something in her tone. Pity. Triumph. Regret. I didn't know anymore. All I knew was she was close. And that terrified me more than if she were gone forever. The cassette ended with static and coordinates. I didn't hesitate. The rooftop was 5 blocks away, a place we once watched fireworks from years ago. She knew I'd remember. The rain had just started, misting the air in sheets of silver. There, tied to the railing, was her red scarf. I gripped it tight, It was still warm. My breath caught. Somewhere between the wind and my heartbeat, I thought I heard footsteps, deliberate, soft. I spun around, but no one. Just the city, sprawling and indifferent. She was toying with distance, letting me almost catch her, then slipping just out of reach. The chase wasn't just physical now. She was inside my head. The scarf led me to a taxi, prearranged. The driver didn't speak, just handed me an envelope, red-stained at the corner. My name was written on it in black ink, curved like a whisper. Inside, a photo of her, alone in a cafe, time-stamped 2 hours ago. Scribbled on the back, "You're almost there." My pulse thudded like a drum. She was watching me, guiding me. But to what? The city sped past the windows in smeared streaks of light and shadow. I tried to read her mind, retrace her logic, but nothing fit. Not unless she wanted me to see something I wouldn't be able to unsee. The cab dropped me off outside an art gallery. Closed. Abandoned. But lit from inside by flickering candles. Through the glass, I saw it, a massive canvas. A silhouette, painted entirely in red. The figure was unmistakable. Her, Raylene. Arms stretched wide, face blurred into chaos. I broke in, heart thundering. On the floor, a circle of used paintbrushes and empty wine bottles. And on the wall beside the painting, another post-it. "Do you see me now?" The air smelled of oil, wine, and fire. She'd turned her absence into a shrine, and every corner of it screamed one thing: she didn't just want me to find her. She wanted me to feel hunted. I found the phone by the exit. Mine. The one I lost weeks ago. The screen was cracked beyond recognition, but somehow still glowing faintly. Blood, not fresh but recent, painted a diagonal smear across it. Next to it, torn in two, was a red post-it note. "Wrong question. Wrong question." My throat closed. Every step I'd taken tonight, every note, every voice, hadn't been about answers. She was dismantling my certainty, piece by piece. And the worst part, I felt compelled. Like a lab rat trained to love the maze. I stood in the silence, the hum of the city muffled by stone walls and wax-dripping shadows. I didn't know what I'd done to deserve this, only that it wasn't over. The alley was narrow, lit by neon signs flickering in alien blues and reds. I followed the gallery's exit into it, led by nothing but instinct. Then something fell, soft, slow. A red umbrella, spinning as it dropped from above. I caught it without thinking. It was hers. The fabric still smelled like her perfume. I looked up, just a rooftop ledge, empty. Or was it? My heart raced. Was she watching from up there? Had she meant for me to catch it, or to miss? The deeper I went, the more I realized. This wasn't revenge. It was revelation. She was turning every moment into a mirror, and all I could see was my own guilt reflected back at me. A red arrow, painted onto the concrete wall of the stairwell beneath the alley. Bright, fresh, still dripping. It pointed down into the dark. No light, no sound. My hands gripped the railing like a lifeline. I hesitated, my mind screaming for air, for logic, for safety. But I knew she was down there, or what was left of her. My feet moved before my brain gave permission. One step, another. Each creak echoed like a heartbeat in a crypt. I wasn't chasing her anymore. I was chasing who I'd been when we began. Before the lies, before the detachment, before she vanished into symbols and whispers. And I was terrified of what I'd find waiting at the bottom. The stairwell emptied into a hidden chamber, a forgotten storage vault beneath the city. Red emergency lights blinked along the ceiling like a heartbeat. The walls were covered in photographs of me. Dozens. Hundreds. Walking to work, laughing with friends, sleeping. All taken without my knowledge. I staggered back. She'd been watching me long before she disappeared. This wasn't just a message, it was a manifesto. Every red note, every whisper, every arrow had led here. The air buzzed with heat, the metallic scent of old pipes and panic. On the far wall, painted in red, now you see, my legs almost buckled. I didn't know who she was anymore, or who I had been to her. A small desk, a monitor. The screen showed video footage paused mid-frame. The last night we spoke. We were in the loft. I was shouting, she was crying. No, screaming. I remembered the argument, but not like this. Not with this level of venom. I pressed play. My voice was cruel, calculated. Hers was pleading, not to win, but to survive. My stomach turned. I'd buried the memory, edited it into something palatable. But the camera didn't lie. This was the night she decided to disappear, to build this whole world beneath our own. And for the first time, I didn't see a villain. I saw a woman building her escape, and a man who gave her no choice. In the center of the room was a box, plain, unopened, labeled with my name, in her handwriting, in red. I dropped to my knees, staring at it like it might explode. My hands hovered. This was it, the final piece. I opened it. Inside, her wedding ring, my old house keys, and a single note. You were never meant to find me, but I had to know if you'd try. I pressed the ring to my chest. Grief came in waves, hollow and wild. She'd built a puzzle with only one solution: understanding, not reunion. And I'd followed it all the way down, just to find myself standing in the center of everything I never heard her say aloud. I stayed in that chamber for hours. I don't know how long. When I finally stood, I tore down every photo, burned them in a rusted trash bin near the entrance. Not out of anger, out of surrender. She had told her story, piece by piece, in red and whispers. And now, there was nothing more to read. No more voice memos. Just silence. I walked in circles, palms running along the cold walls, trying to memorize their texture, as if understanding her pain meant tracing the scars she'd hidden. But they weren't mine to carry anymore. They never were. She gave me the truth, but she never asked for redemption. I returned to the rooftop, the city just starting to wake. The red scarf was still in my coat pocket. I pulled it out and let it catch the wind, watching it dance like a flame against the pale sky. The streets below were calm, clean of secrets, unaware of the theater that played out in their shadows. I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I just watched. The chase was over. But the silence she left in her place, that would echo for years. Maybe forever. Some truths come too late to change anything. And some scars are written in lipstick and glass, never ink and paper. Weeks later, I saw her. Or I think I did. A flash of red in a train station crowd, moving just fast enough to avoid certainty. Her walk was the same. Sharp, deliberate, almost defiant. I didn't call out. Didn't run. I stood there and let her vanish again. Because I finally understood she hadn't just disappeared. She'd shed everything that once tied her down, and left me a map not to her, but to who I had been. The final image I carry isn't her face or her voice.